Nearly 1 in 3 people held in federal prisons are Hispanic. If every male student in this class was hypothetically part of a prison population, every 2 male figures would be Hispanic. During the Reagan era, from 1985 to 1995, the number of Hispanics in federal and state prisons rose by 219%. Hispanic men are almost 4 times as likely to go to prison at some point in their lives as their non Hispanic white male counterparts. Nationally, in state prisons and local jails, Hispanics are incarcerated at nearly twice the rate of whites, while in some states the rate is much higher. For instance, it is 7 times much higher in Connecticut and Pennsylvania, and 6 times higher in Massachusetts and North Dakota. Despite equal rates of drug use proportionate to their populations, Hispanics are twice as likely as whites and equally as likely as blacks to be admitted to state prisons for a drug offense. In August of 2019, I became one of those statistics. Through intimidation, harsh questioning, and irrational tactics, I was arrested for a DUI charge. I was dropping off a date at her house. It is located on a street parallel to a big canal. Because of its location, the residential street is very narrow with a lot of turns. I have dropped off my date many times before. I am very weary of my speed on this road, especially at nighttime. The officer approached my vehicle and told me he stopped me, quote unquote, because I was going 50 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. He later changed the reason of stop to my vehicle going 50 mile per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone, which is actually the legal residential limit the actual legal limit in a residential area. After the officer told me a lie about why he stopped me, he proceeded to ask me if I had anything to drink that day. I responded with the truth. 1 beer, and I also finished my date's glass of wine she did not like. The police then opened my car door and asked me to step out of the vehicle to take a field sobriety test. Out of being nervous and anxious with the entire engagement, I complied. He asked me a few medical related questions, which I answered honestly. I had suffered a traumatic brain injury, 2 brain hemorrhages, and broken my femur from a motorcycle accident. Because of these injuries, I now suffer from a limp and sometimes from residual pain. As we were walking to conduct the field sobriety test, I am limping due to some pain, and I even apologized to the officer for my limp. The officer ignored me. My lawyer then later told me that the police officers have a separate set of rules of field sobriety tests that they do for handicapped drivers. He then proceeded to tell me what to do, but to then not demonstrate how to do the different tests, a legal obligation. For example, the one test, you stretch your arms out, walk 1 foot in front of the other, toe to heel, count to 9 steps, then turn around and do another 9 steps the other way. He did not demonstrate how I needed to turn around, and later on the arrest report, he put that I actually stumbled on my way when I turned around during the field sobriety test. After conducting the sobriety test, the police officer asked me once more how much I had to drink, encouraging me to just be honest and that he will let me go. Once again, I reiterated the same and only truth I have been saying the whole time. He then proceeded to arrest me and read me my Miranda rights. The entire drive to the jail station in downtown, the police officer told me a few alarming statements. He told me he gave me the opportunity to be honest. If I would have complied, I would have never gone to jail. Once again, another lie. I begged him to not take me to jail because I was working for the United States Navy at the time, as well as being a full-time college student with my financial aid at stake if I get convicted. He proceeded to tell me to not worry, they were going to offer me reckless driving and that I needed to take the plea, as if he was not confident in his arrest of me driving drunk. Another lie, because he cannot guarantee me this realistically and or legally. Once I was able to meet with my lawyer, she had filed a motion to obtain the body cam footage of both officers present at the arrest site. We were able to acquire both. In the body cam footage, my lawyer was able to retrieve the arresting officer is seen calling another officer after getting my driver's license, telling him, "Guess what I have today? What have I had all week?" Another drunk driver. This was without doing any type of test or even engaging in any conversation with me. My lawyer told me that at this moment, the officer was going to take me to jail, no matter what I did or what I said. His mind was already made up. With the arrest report in hand to compare what is seen on the body cam footage, all the discrepancies I have described to you today were presented in raw video and audio footage. Despite a public perception that Hispanic immigrant communities are riddled with crime, studies show that involvement of Hispanic immigrants in crime is actually less than that of US citizens. No person is immune to police brutality. Unfortunately, statistically speaking, it happens at much more alarming rates to Hispanic and other minority groups like the one standing before you today. Stay safe, stay vigilant.